Hey everyone, Senraikai here. Today I'm going to be watching the 13th and final episode of Irozuku Sekai no Ashita. And this is the big one. This is the final one. This is where we all say our goodbyes and Hitomi goes back to where she belongs, right? Even though that does mean we all have to say goodbye to her. But, she can't stay. I mean, the laws of the universe have made that pretty clear with you know, the temporary pop in, pop outs of Hitomi. That's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, basically that really drove home the point that yeah, she can't stay here. Either she goes home on her own terms, or the universe slaps her somewhere else. Like that's kind of how I would summarize it. But it doesn't make it any easier of a pill to swallow for the people that have grown to care about her. But at least from Hitomi's perspective, at least she gets to go back to some other people, right? Like the old version of Grandma, Grandma 2.0, right? That's at least one person that she's got to miss, surely, right? But from everyone else's perspective, they're just losing someone. There's no trade off. So at least Hitomi has it better than them in that sense. But anyway, don't really have too much more to say before we get into. Sorry about that. Anyway, I don't have too much more to say about it before we get into it. You know the drill by now. Like clicking the like button if you enjoyed the video. Support me on Patreon for the early access and picture-in-picture version and all that good stuff. So let us jump in and see how they end this off. 3, 2, 1, play. But then I met a girl. They are pretty good. I do like them. Are we going to get an opening? We might not, actually. But yeah, right before we get started, we really had to drive home just, yeah, what an important existence she has become for Aoi. And she is quite beloved. So we have time for our goodbyes, is what she's saying. Okay, shows up first. It's showtime. I agree. And I forgive you for rejecting me. And this all honestly feels like a scene in like an RPG, if you know what I mean. When you have to say goodbye to your adventuring party in the dramatic final scene. As long as it's not a love confession, we don't need any more. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I don't know what you were expecting from Chigusa, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, not everyone is good at that, you know. As long as you continue to make progress, that is the important thing. As long as you try to find reasons in life to make you smile. Okay, Kurumi, what do you got for us? Besides tears, don't give me tears. And of course, we got a hug from Kurumi. Well, then stop crying. And Asagi, how's this? Oh god. I was about to say, if anyone could give Kurumi a run for her money on the emotion side of things, it would be Asagi. Okay, at least it's gonna be that's gonna be the worst of it. I don't think we're gonna get more tears on that. Probably most sad about these two being separated, but at least she has the old version to go back to. Because these two honestly feel like they were always meant to be besties, if that makes sense at all. Like, I know narratively the romance option's probably supposed to be the bigger deal, but to me, I was mostly interested in the young Kohaku thing. But yeah, what do you have to say? Are you gonna cry for us? The happiest moment of my life, the greatest event of my life. Not even gonna get a hug. It was barely even a handshake. Like that, you gotta give us more than that. I mean, not to make it weird, but Kohaku's goodbye was more lover-like than his was. Yeah. The character growth. Okay, it looks like we're ready. It kind of made me jump. Uh, man, such power. Jeez. Hopefully it's not going wrong. Oh, what's even happening? Oh no, yeah, we did establish that she does have the unconscious magic usage, and she definitely doesn't want to leave, so it's gonna contradict it. Of course, it can't be so simple. They are totally gonna get transferred to somewhere together. Uh, Probably we're gonna get a true final goodbye from them until she finally goes home. Hopefully, she didn't fall in one of the holes. Just get on the boat. That poor dead fish. Oh, is the fish talking? Hello. Oh, do we find her? Thank God she's not falling one of the holes. There was a good chance of that. There's a lot of them. Also, really be careful where you're walking, he told me. I'll race you. And we have music. We have an insert song. So I guess that's why it looked like you went through like a puddle, like a barrier kind of thing, because that's supposed to represent entering this area. Gotcha. Was a little bit confused on that. You cast a spell on my future. Did everything. It makes all the difference. These two were always destined to meet. Keep smiling in the future, he told me. It's all I ask. Oh my god, color! I think we're truly finally unlocking color. And there we go, we did get a hug from him. Thank God. Now that's what I'm talking about. This was much better than the last goodbye. The color of... Oh god. All the colors. Man, the animation for showcasing the color entering, it's actually really, really good. I love how they're handling that. The animation is just breathtaking. I cannot imagine a better way to visualize it. We're getting so many poetic lines in this, and I'm actually loving all of them. Yeah, just look at it. Just the way like an ashy, almost like ash. Like it's almost like it never was truly black and white, but it was just covered in a layer of ashiness that's now being blown away. It's such a cool way to visualize it. I don't keep saying that, but it's just so good. Finally, you settled down. Good boy. Stay. And he even technically got to have like a private little goodbye with her too, which makes it even better. Makes it even more special. I still would have liked some more tears from him, but I'm happy with what we got. Yeah. I mean, technically everybody else should still be alive in the future too, right? Like, shouldn't they be able to reunite in a sense? They might be elderly at that point, but most of them she should still be able to see. Just look them up. And they'll remember her, presumably. So, technically it wouldn't be goodbye forever. Potentially. Right. The subconscious spell wore off. Yeah, that was the spot they met, isn't it? She saw drying of color. And she's just really gone now. Is that a text from the future? Can you do that? Okay. From herself. That's gotta be really reassuring to get that. And of course, Kohaku knew that Kohaku would appreciate getting that. And yeah, the familiar bus. Man, I feel like it's been so long since we've written this thing. He told me it's come so far. Tochaku. Probably, just get off. That's borderline ominous, but okay. Oh, okay. Trying to spank her? What's that? A Pocky? Okay. Okay. Thank you. I guess. And there we go. A leap of faith. It definitely is a leap of faith because she has no idea where she's falling. Back to our beautiful fireworks. So did we go to exactly the moment where she left? I mean, I guess she would. No reason not to. 2078. I will definitely be dead by that point. So I will never get to meet Hitomi is what I'm saying. And there she is, elderly Kohaku. You should know, you were there. He wasn't nice. I got to hug a boy, it was awesome. I occasionally fell into water. But I knew I had to. And now she should actually be able to properly see the fireworks. Oh, that line just cuts right through you. But yes, of course. And finally, after 70 whatever years, finally get to hug Kohaku again. Never changed. I'm all okay now. There we go, finally. She returned the hug. Okay. We have a new goal. It really is great seeing Hitomi like this. It was definitely a good experience for her. Have to readjust. Just call me Kohaku. Oh. What do we got in there? A letter? A stick? Or... Yeah, look at those pictures. Yeah, I'm a little bit curious how the time travel theory works here. So basically, she's always known about those experiences with Hitomi, but couldn't talk to her about them until she'd experienced them. Almost give you a headache trying to think about this. The Rainbow Penguin by Aoi Yuito. Wow. Wow. It's about penguins, so it's an awesome book. Man, that penguin looks way too comfy. He looks like he's living the good life. Like he doesn't have a care in the world. Bunny, that's a soggy. Why do you have to show Asaki too? It's gonna make me cry. Remember the zombie costume? He's not wrong. Parrot. Of course, a huge rainbow. Talking to classmates. They're so happy. I'm so happy. It's like a gang of penguins. They're hitting me with a lot in this epilogue here. The fish. I've gotten so emotionally attached to that fish. There's no rain that lasts. You know, listening to this song, the visuals of the... It's also playing in my head. Yeah, just look at all the colors. Colors are almost something you take for granted, you know? But, you know, not everyone sees them. They do a lot to make the world a brighter, happier place. Irozuku Sekai no Ashita kara. Is that gonna be it? Yeah, that is it. Okay. Oh, that was the 13th and final episode of Irozuku Sekai no Ashita kara. And it was quite the episode. I mean, I knew it would be. I knew this was going to be our goodbye episode. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that we had a little bit of hiccup on the way home, but it was nothing too bad. You know, we were able to resolve it without too many issues, and Hitomi was able to go home, and we did have all of our sad goodbyes, and I pretty much knew that Asagi would be the most emotional of the bunch, right? I mean, Kurumi was no slouch, but I always knew Asagi, our sweet little bunny, she was always going to be the one with the most tears, and that most certainly was the case. You know, Aoi was, you know, being fairly casual about the whole thing, right? We like barely had a handshake, like it could barely even be called that. You know, no hugging, no I love yous or anything like that. He was just gonna walk away like that. And you know, that was probably part of the reason why things went awry. He couldn't want a better goodbye from Aoi than that. But she did not get it initially. But luckily, we did have a bit of a magical event, which gave him the chance to have a do-over, essentially, you know? Enter that black and white little prison that Hitomi was in, and was able to say the right things, do the right things, and then we got the absolutely beautiful, breathtaking animation of seeing the magical-based black and white sort of ashy layer that's been over Hitomi's life for a while finally get faded away, right? Like that self-induced magic finally erased, and is able to be honest with herself, you know, allow herself to be happy, allow herself to move forward. Just a very big step for Hitomi in so many ways. And then she rode the bus back home, got her change or whatever, and pretty much popped up back right where she left off. Which, even though it surprised me a little bit, it shouldn't, because it makes sense. Like, it doesn't make sense for time here to pass just because time there passed. There's no reason why those two things need to be linked, right? But yeah, just the reveal that the grandma pretty much knew everything because she had already lived it at this point. It was only Hitomi that had not yet experienced that stuff, but now that she has, so now she can actually talk to Kohaku about the stuff that they have experienced together in the past. But now we're in the same spot, but she can actually enjoy the fireworks. Like, I don't think we really did much of that in the scene, but she could actually look at the fireworks and enjoy them for what they were. And then we had the time capsule, the familiar photos, and like, you know, it's just crazy to think about, right? Like, to have that kind of extra layer of experience and like a strong bond with your grandmother, that you were able to have like essentially like, yeah, childhood fun memories together that you could talk to your grandma about. It's like, that's such a unique experience that Hitomi has. It's just crazy to think about. But yeah, once they whipped out the book, man, by Aoi Yuito, like, man, I wasn't ready for that. They showed the book, they showed the characters that were clearly representations of the friends, right? That really got me. Like, you know, I was borderline tearing up a little bit here and there before that, but nothing quite got me like the frickin' book did. Because that was such a powerful payoff of so much of what we experienced. Like, it was a very powerful blow, let's just call it that. Like, I didn't stand a chance. But I mean, that pretty much was the episode. I mean, all that was really left was kind of a bit of an epilogue there, while the music played. She went to the graveyard. I'm not sure. Like, was it implied to be Aoi's grave? Because I don't think we saw any kind of name, did we? So I'm gonna assume it was Aoi's. But I don't know. It's hard to say for sure. That's what I'm gonna go with until someone corrects me. But yeah, just also, yeah, Hitomi going to her classmates, because she was obviously very distant with them before because of everything, you know. But now she's had all those experiences, she's had the character development and the character growth, and she actually, of her own volition, you know, with a smile on her face, goes up to them, presumably, you know, just trying to hang out with them, you know, just wants, you know, making that first real step to get a real friendship going. Like, they just look so excited, especially the light brown-haired girl. Like the hands up and, you know, the grin and all that. Like, they were so excited to see Hitomi actually, you know, really being open to, yeah, just actually being friends with him, you know. We have the photography and art club that's still around, you know, running 75 years. It even says in the corner there, please come in. It's got the penguins and, wait, what was on the other side of? We had the penguins on the left side. Oh yeah, the camera on the, and they freaking penguins like paintbrushes and stuff, because why not? And she just comes in and joins the club, you know. Very obviously supposed to be a parallel, you know, supposed to be reminiscent of the 75-year ago club. You know, had the magic shop and everything. I'm just kind of watching the vlog again and see if there's anything else you really want to comment on. You told me very much glad to see this, the colors. The blue sky is, yeah, definitely the beautiful sight, as well as the blue water. Our familiar fish. We couldn't finish off the show without seeing the fish one more time. So blue, like a canvas it paints on. And then, yeah, after that we just got the credits. And as always, it's beautiful how it goes. The credits, the background of it goes from being that black and white to color, much like Hitomi. But yeah, I mean, that was a really good final episode. Like, I knew it would be the goodbye one. I knew it would be an emotional one. And it was both those things, but it still ended up being even better than I could have imagined. Just the overall payoff in so many respects was more than I could have ever hoped for. And just, yeah, really, really good stuff. The show overall as a whole was also really good. I mean, the show has always, you know, front and center been about Hitomi's journey, right? Obviously, we had a little bit of stuff with the side characters, and they had their own issues and stuff, and their own other points of development they had to work on as well, right? So, I mean, Aoi being a big one, right? Hitomi, of course, being very influential, very critical in his development, much like he kind of was for her, right? So, we had that as well, but Hitomi was obviously more front and center than Aoi was. I think we could agree on that, but, you know, they were all friends. They all definitely helped each other grow. I think that's safe to say. But yeah, Hitomi, she came a long way from being that episode 1 dark, gloomy, frowny girl that's not even very good at saying what she needs to say, saying what's on her mind, you know, doesn't even really think she deserves happiness, right? Very much has this black and white world, and, you know, look at her now. Happy, cheerful, sees color, making friends, joining clubs. That is a world of difference Hitomi has achieved throughout the course of the show. So, you know, that question, episode 1 question, like, what's the point of staying her back here? What good is that going to do? By the end of the show, I think we definitely discovered that. So, yeah, I am glad I watched this show. It was definitely quite the unique experience. I mean, even just having a girl go from a technologically advanced world to a non-technologically advanced one, that alone was kind of an interesting and unique element to it. It wasn't like super crucial to the plot or anything like that, but I enjoy that as an interesting little element to things. And of course, having magic exist but not being all that important. Also a very interesting creative decision that gave the show a bit of a unique feeling to it. But yeah, just Hitomi coming back and hugging Kohaku once more. Just because I didn't even think about it, because that was like before Kohaku mentioned about how she remembers all that and stuff like that. So from her perspective, she had lost Hitomi for all those years, having all those experiences with her, becoming such great, deep friendship with her. You know, they say their goodbye, and now, like 70 years later or whatever, she finally comes back and is able to hug her, you know, and she's able to really feel that once again. And not only that, but Hitomi, even though she's been around, right? Even though the Hitomi that she knows isn't here, a Hitomi was there, if that makes sense. Like somebody that looks, you know, like Hitomi, but that isn't the same Hitomi that left. And she wasn't able to truly reunite with the Hitomi until right in that moment. And that's when she finally gets that reuniting hug, and she's able to just, because I can't even fathom just the raw emotion that old Kohaku must have felt in that moment with Hitomi coming back, the reuniting and all that. Like, I can't even fathom it. You know, I almost want to cheer up again thinking about just thinking about that. But yeah, just so many interesting levels and layers and stuff to this show. Pretty great stuff. Definitely a good show that I'm very much glad I watched. And so yeah, I'm glad for the person that requested it to give me the opportunity to do so, because the show was not on my radar whatsoever until then. So I'm pretty confident it would now. I never would have watched it otherwise. So thank you to the patron that was kind enough to do that for me. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So just thank you for watching. You know, if you enjoyed the video, please click the like button and support the channel if you want to watch more reactions going forward of other things. And yeah, bye bye.